Okay guys, today we're going to be working on this Maytag made by Whirlpool, and the complaint is that is bouncing, that is out of balance, is banging on the sides like that. Welcome to DIY Repair Now. Read all the warnings, and during this video you will see one or more of these icons to help you do this repair safe. And this is how you test the shocks to see if it's the shocks or not. You push it down, and if it bounces more than once, that means you have to replace the 4 shocks. There's 2 in the front and 2 in the back. We will go again, push it down, and as you can see, it's bouncing more than once. So we're gonna go ahead, and if you guys want to put it in test mode and try to make it to go to spin, you have to do the test mode diagnostic, which you're gonna go 3 to the left, 1 back, 1 forward, and that will take you to the test mode. So let's see, you gotta, to erase anything, you have to go all the way around, and I like to put it right here. Then you're gonna go 3 to the right, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1 back, 1 forward, and it should take you to the test mode. 1, 2, 3, 1 back, 1 forward, and as you see, all the lights are flashing. This is an indication that you got through the test mode. Now if you go 1 more, that's to check air codes, and these lights will flash, and then you have to look at the paperwork that is right here inside. The next one is to put it in diagnostic test mode, automatic diagnostic test mode. That means it's gonna go through each cycle by itself until it finish, but I don't like to use that test mode, the automatic test mode, because it only goes to each cycle for a couple seconds. And the third one will be the manual test mode. So this is, you can manipulate the machine to do whatever you want step by step, like have it on the third. Remember, it's going to be right here, 1, 2, 3 after you got it on test mode, and press it to enter the manual test mode. And then if you press it again, it's going to start testing one thing at a time when you move the dial. So the first press is locking the door. This is how you check the lock mechanism. As you see, the lock is working fine. The next one will test the water valve. This is the cold. There's water coming out. This is the hot side of the water valve. That means it's working fine. And as you can see, every time I do the test to stop and go to the next one, I have to press it again. You see, it's throwing water, then I press again, and then it stops. Then I go to the next one. When the lights flash like that, that means there's no setting for you there. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And then over here, I believe will be the drain. As you can see, we have a drain, and if we go 1 more, it's nothing. And over here, this next one will be a spin. So it will do low spin, high spin, low agitation, high agitation. So what I like to do, because what happens is when you put it on spin, you cannot go all the way to the wash cycle, because the drum needs to stop spinning for it to go to the next one. So I like to go low spin, just don't do it yet, and go to the wash. So I'm putting it on low wash agitation. So right now it should go to low agitation. You will hear some clicking sounds at the bottom, and that means the actuator is changing to agitation. Maybe you can hear it. Excuse me guys, but I'm working in a dog shop, and that's why you hear the dogs barking. I apologize for that. That's a low agitation. This is high agitation. And since we test this tool, now we're gonna go and check the spin. We're gonna put it on low spin. We only gotta check one of those two spins, and if you got clothes in there, the machine is gonna start banging on the sides. Now it might not do it now because there's no clothes there, but once you got clothes in there, the machine will start banging to the sides because the shocks are not doing the job correctly. Like I said, it's not gonna do it now. That's the low spin, and this is high spin. We don't have to do that. I just wanted to show you guys how to get on the test mode if you guys wanna go ahead and do the test mode. So right now what I'm gonna do, this is high spin, low agitation, high agitation, and then we go back to the leg lock. Over here you just press here and it will unlock the door, but the drum need to stop spinning. So we're gonna wait until the drum stop spinning to be able to unlock the door again. After that, we're gonna go ahead and proceed to replace the shocks. So I believe that drum is still spinning. It already stops. As you see, I unlocked the door. So I still on manual test mode. To get out of this test mode, you're gonna press and hold for 3 seconds. Start into clears everything up. So basically right now I'm gonna press it again, and it's gonna lock the door, but after 3 seconds it's just gonna get out of test mode. 1, 2, 3. Just wait. They say 3 seconds, but I know it takes about 5 seconds. So now we are out of the test mode, and we're gonna begin to replace the shocks. First thing you're gonna do is be safe and disconnect the washer machine. Then you're gonna remove this screw to remove this cover, and this screw. These 2 screws right here is to allow the top panel to move. Again, remove these screws. Removing those 3 screws allow this panel to move forward, as you can see, and now you'll be able to release it. When you lift this part up, this will have to go in this slot right here. This male will have to go to the female slot to be able to lift up correctly. If you want, you can disconnect. You can disconnect the drain hose. Now I'm gonna show you the removing those 3 screws. You move this towards you, and now you're gonna go up like about a 1/2 inch to release it from these 2 tabs. But it's another hook right here that holds this panel in place, besides these 2 hooks right here. So once you move it back, you're gonna go up like 1/2 inch and then back again. Now it's free to lift up. Remember, as you move it towards you, look at the angle, it sticks out, go up, back, and now you can lift up. Now you want to put some kind of tape here to hold this panel in place, because otherwise when you do this, this panel opens and this can fall on you. So we're going to go ahead and secure this door. I'm going to go ahead and do the test again, and as you can see how the washer shakes more than once, and you're going to see the difference when I put the new ones, how the new ones only supposed to bounce only once. And that's how you know when the shocks needs to be replaced. Now we're going to go ahead and put some tape on this lid to prevent the whole
panel to bounce back when we are working on the shocks. In this case, I'm using electrical tape, but you can use any kind of tape that you have around the house. You can also turn off the water valves, but in this case, I'm just gonna leave them on.
And now this is where this tool steps in, because this is what's gonna help you to grab the shock right here and be able to remove it. So we're gonna do the two in the front right now, and then we're gonna proceed to do the two in the back.
To be safe, we're gonna use long gloves or long sleeved shirt because the washer has a lot of sharp edges like the ones you see in the picture. So if you don't want to hurt yourself, you better be safe and wear a long sleeve shirt or a long gloves. I'm gonna mention that a couple times because that is very important, that way you don't get hurt. Now we're gonna go ahead and put something underneath the washer to raise the top up, and that way we release some pressure from the shocks. In this case, I'm gonna use this piece of styrofoam, but you can use a piece of rag, a sponge, a piece of block, or anything. If it's softer, it's better. Sometimes I use a piece of rag or anything that you can put underneath around this area. Now this piece of styrofoam that I'm using, it's a little too big, so it raised the top a little too much. However, I have more videos and different ways that I do this repair, but this is the more safe way to do it because it releases some pressure. As you saw right there, the top raised up a little too much, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this piece of styrofoam a little thinner. That way I raise the top and the measurements that I want. So I'm just removing some piece of styrofoam that I find laying around, and as you can see, I'm gonna put it right there, right by where the transmission and the motor is. So just put it on the middle of the washer, and you will see now how the top raised up. So later on in this video, I'm gonna show you in a whole different ways how this is happening. As you see, the top raised up, so it releases some pressure on the springs or shocks, however you want to call it. And now this side, which is the left, front left, is kind of difficult because of this piece that you see me touching right there on my hands. The other side does not have this. This is for the bleach dispenser, so it has an extra piece of plastic there. Now in this video, you will see me using this tool to replace the shocks, but you can do it without it too, or you can use something else, which again, watch the whole video because it will be very detailed. As you see, this piece is the one is going to be in your way, but it's going to be only on the left front, and the other areas you have a little more space to put your hand in there. So you can also do the shocks from the bottom, but I'm going to show you both ways how to do it. Now we're going to remove this piece of plastic, and that's when the shocks can drop down. This is how you remove it, and this is how you install it back. Again, I'm going to repeat this process plenty times, that way you guys have a lot of details on how to get it done. However, you can play the video while you do the repair if you're doing it yourself or with some help. As you see, I have very limited space, and especially in this from left of the washer, I'm trying to remove the shock on that little gap on the side, but my space is very limited. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing it down, and I'm going to give you a little bit of details, and you see me shaking my hand, and it's because I'm pushing this black piece with the white ring on it. As you see, this is the black piece that is stuck on the tub, and this white ring is what I push down to be able to remove it from the tub. Basically, this is what I'm doing. I'm just pushing it down until it comes out. And this is very convenient because if you don't have enough space to lean the washer and get underneath the washer, you can just do everything from the top. Yes, you have to be careful because of the sharp edges, but again, you know, take all the precautions and try to do this repair the safest way as you can. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the one on the right. And like I said, you can see right here, you can do it just with your hand. I'm using this tool, but sometimes it's not necessary, or you can use one of the old shocks to be able to pull up. You don't really need this tool. I just happen to have this one, which I made it myself to make my life easier, but you don't really have to have one to be able to do this repair. You can just use your hand or a vice grips, where I'm going to show you and later on in another clip. And this is what basically I'm doing in the spots that you cannot see because the camera didn't catch that scene. So I already removed the tool in the front. Now I'm going to go ahead and open the box. This is the part number, and you can find this part link in the description of this video. Also remember to check with your model number if you order in the right parts. So don't just order this part because your washer looks like this one. And if it is the same model number, you can order this parts on the link. Now, these are the other pieces that we have to replace, which I didn't got that on video too, but again, I have to do 4 of them. I'm going to show you how to remove these white pieces as well, because this has a little trick. Sometimes it's a little hard for them to come out. So let's go ahead and replace the first one. Let's remove all these parts and put them where they go. There's a little trick to remove those, like I said before, because you can cut your fingers, but I'm going to go in detail later on that. Now, again, you can go underneath, tilt the washer in the back, or just do it from the front, from the top. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put my hand in there and fit the shock to the slack, put it in place, and then do my best to try to get it in the hole and put it where it goes. Now, this shock has a position as well, so I'm going to show you again a couple times, because it's very important for you to put it right. If you don't put it right, you might still have a vibration or off balance issue with it. As you see, I'm using this hook to put the shock up, but this piece of styrofoam that I put underneath is helping a lot because it does not have a lot of tension. So now I'm going to go ahead and use this new part. Remember, the shocks and all these parts are going to look like new when you remove them, but that doesn't mean they are good. This is what I was telling you. This part can go in either side of this, but do not put where the red arrow is, because otherwise they are not properly installed. Over here, I'm pointing out where it should be and where it shouldn't be. So just make sure you follow the video and you will be able to do the installation properly. Just put them where it's a space, especially for the hook of the shock. Now, again, you don't really need to use this tool. You can get away without using the tool. Just use your hand, a vice grips, or put something underneath the washer to make the top goes up, or you have all these different options in how to do it. So you can also go and see all the videos. I'm gonna keep saying that because a lot of people say, well, and this video doesn't show a lot of details. Well, you might find more details in other videos, because in this video I'm only showing you this scenario. However, again, other videos I go underneath the washer, which sometimes if you have a lot of space, it's more convenient because it's easier. You don't have to, keep risking your hand and get cut in your arm or fingers. So now you see I'm pulling it up with this hook, and always pay attention in how you remove this. Look at the position of this piece. And I'm going to tell you another thing that you should never do. So over here, you see how it goes in the slack. This is a scenario that you shouldn't be doing. Do never raise your finger and put it right where the hook is, because if the hook where the red arrow is fail or something goes wrong, it can cut your finger or you can get hurt by doing it that way. So just take all the precautions. Again, you can see where the hook drops, and that's where I'm pointing at. That's where it should be. And this is what I was telling you guys, you can get hurt really easy in these edges, so just take all the precautions. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave you a clip from another repair, that way you have different options.
Now that I think about it, you can either do it from underneath and get it out. As you see, you can do it from here, and you put the other one back in there. That's the new one.
Okay, as you can see, I did the one on the left and I went underneath the washer. Now this is the one on the right, and in this model you can do it from the bottom and you can do it from the top. Now it's a little difficult to do it from the top, but it's very convenient when you have very limited space. As you can see, it has a kind of slack right there where the shocks can come out on the side, like so. So this is the old one, but as you can see, it has like a ring, so you have to kind of put it in place. If you don't have access to tilt the washer, you have to do all this without looking, because you only have space to put your hand inside, but you don't have space to look what you're doing. So all that you have to do it without noticing what is going on inside. So you're gonna see how I do it. As you can see, I'm putting the shock through the top. I don't have to go underneath because I have the slack right there, like I told you before. So I'm trying to put it on the side to make it go in the hole, but you have to see how it's done, because it has a ring that goes underneath. That ring cannot be on the top. So as you see, it's no way for me to see exactly what I'm doing, so everything have to be like without knowing what you're doing. Just, you know, take a peek after you got your hand out and put the plastic piece on the top. Once you see you got it right, you can use the old shocks to be able to pull it out. Always be careful with your hands, always wear gloves. I know you don't see me wearing gloves, but I do this pretty much every day, so I know how to do it and try not to get hurt. As you can see, you can use the old shocks to be able to pull the new shocks up and do the installation, or you can use a tool like this one. I made this tool myself, but I haven't put it for sale yet. However, like I said, you can put something underneath the tub, or you can use the old shocks to be able to pull this out if you have trouble doing the installation because of limited space. However, be careful, try not to push your fingers or your hand on the hook, and notice how I'm doing the installation of this plastic piece. It has two spaces for the hook to go in. Try not to put it in one of those little holes, because otherwise the washer is going to go off balance. Once you got it in the right position, either right or left.
All right, now we're gonna do the two in the back, and like I said, this should be easy because I don't have to tilt the washer to be able to get the shocks from underneath, because it has a slot on the side to remove it from the housing. Now in other models that I'm gonna put a link in this video, you have to tilt the washer and get underneath to be able to remove it. And again, another thing is that you can put something underneath of the washer to make it raised up a little, around this much. That way the shocks is not the tub is not hanging from the shock as much, and then you can eliminate that risk of cut your finger while you're doing this repair. So like mentioned before, you can put a piece of wood, or you can put a piece of styrofoam underneath, like I have it there, and that will make the washer tub raised up. As you see, it raised up a little, and now you don't have too much pressure on those shocks. You can lift up. I can even do it with my hand. Use this tool. Now get it down. And now remove it from the slot. Hold this thing. Now I recommend always use gloves because sometimes these rings, they are sharp. So if you put your hand right here and start rubbing, you're gonna cut your finger. I cut my finger once, really bad. I don't want that to happen to you, so use gloves or use sort of a screwdriver to remove this by doing this. I have a couple more videos, guys, on how to replace these shocks on my YouTube channel. We have another one. If you push those towards the center, it's just gonna pop right off. There's the new ones. Now we're gonna grab the new shocks. Now we're gonna remove whatever we use to make the tub raised up. You can use cardboard, piece of styrofoam, even towels to make the top to raise up.
All right, guys, at this point, we pretty much done. We're going to remove the electrical tape to be able to secure this top panel.
Now, I told you I was gonna do the test again. I can see that the tub already raised up a little. All shocks are installed correctly. And look, you see how it only bounced once? It's because it has new shocks and it's working the way it's supposed to. It's not bouncing multiple times anymore. Now we're gonna go ahead and secure this panel. Show you again, put it down. You have to go this female to male hook, female slot to male hook, and then these two slots. So we're gonna go ahead and put it where those hooks are, push it towards you, and then it falls down like about a ½ inch, then push it back and then secure the 3 screws in the back. Now we're gonna go ahead and install the cover and the 3 screws in the back.
These 3 screws are very similar. The only one is a little different is the one is for this cover, which is the one covers the fill tube and the wiring, but the two on the sides are the same. So you'll see a little difference between those, but if you mix them up, it doesn't hurt anything. Go ahead and put the drain line in place where it goes and secure it with a zip tie if it needs to be secured. In this case, it was not secured before, so that means everything is fine. Go ahead and plug the washer. And again, this repair is pretty much done. Now we're just gonna do some testing, make sure everything is working. But again, the real test is when you put clothes in there. This is a commercial place and they are washing towels for the dogs all the time. Secure the legs, make sure the washer is level. And sometimes those legs on the washer are pushed in a lot, so you need to screw them out, but that's about it. Everything is working fine. All right, guys, if this video helped you in any way, you can show us appreciation by giving us a tip using the following options that you see on the screen. If you cannot provide with a tip, is another way to support this channel by just dropping off a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the bell to receive notifications. Thanks for watching.